On live. My name is Rajat Chawla. I'm happy to connect with you on this live. Let's spend some time together on this live discussing how to be a successful in customer experience consulting. If you are someone who's waiting to deepen your understanding about customer experience consulting, which is a fast growing, highly in demand area domain, more than 70 700,000 customer experience consultants are there on LinkedIn. And today I'm going to talk about how to be successful while still deepening your understanding about customer experience consulting. So if you're watching this here live, or if you watch this recording, I would love to hear from you. What do you do in this space, and what is of interest to you when it comes to customer experience consulting? Feel free to post your questions. That will be helpful for me to understand what is it that's of focus for you, what is it that I can help you with when it comes to customer experience consulting. I have spent more than 20 years in this space, both on the technology side and non-technology side, both as a consumer as well as somebody who's helped companies implement customer experience solution as a CX consultant. I've also been fortunate to build a global customer experience consulting in a couple of years back. So this is really close to my heart, and I really saw certain things that made people, professionals, more successful than the others. What is that? What do you need to bring in order to succeed in customer experience consulting? So I would, attempt to make it simple for you. Really, what is it consulting? Consulting is when you're helping someone be more successful and helping them reach certain outcome. Let's call it they're at point A and you're helping them reach to point B, right? So consultant comes in and help them move from their point A to point B, which is their destination where they want to reach. And you, as a consultant, help them walk that journey. Now, if you're a consultant in customer experience, how can you help? What are the kind of problems that may come? What are the kind of industries that may need customer experience consulting? In fact, every industry needs customer experience consulting. Of course, there are certain industries which need more of these services, which are probably ahead in the curve when it comes to customer experience. And when we bring in the element of digital, then digital customer experience brings in another interesting dimension to that. So, what are the problems that what some industries may face? It depends on the kind of industry at, at some place, but there are certain framework that as a consultant you need to bring in, which can guide your customer to be successful, to help them move from point A to point B. What is that framework? So one of the my favorite frameworks is actually a CXPA framework, which we cover in detail in our customer experience mastery program, and we help so many leaders. We've helped master this framework and deploy it back in their organization, become better consultants, become better leaders when it comes to customer experience. I can probably touch upon that quickly. What are the key elements of this framework? The key elements of this framework are very simple. Number one is culture. How do you build a customer centric culture? So, when you're a customer experience consultant, you can help your client understand how well they are in terms of customer centric culture in their organization. We also demonstrate assessment to help them measure where do they stand against the best practices. So you can be that consultant, and culture is made of values, behaviors, and day-to-day activities, right? So you can measure that. So if you compare, let's say, Amazon with another e-commerce company, you can compare what's the difference. So, as a culture expert within CX, you will be able to help transform the culture. That's one part of the framework. The other part, the second of pillars of the framework is the governance. What kind of organization do you need in order to have customer experience entrenched deeply in the organization? So you should be able to guide your client, your customer, in order to do they have the leadership? Do they have the right kind of RACI, which we call it responsibility, accountability, consulted, and informed. RACI is a term that's used. What kind of organization strength do they have in order to drive customer centricity? It has to be both top down, and it also has to be right people at the right place with right kind of mindset. That's where you can help your organization build better, help your client build better organization. Then the third element could be bringing the customer insights, which is also called as outside in approach. You bring in your customer, you can help your client evolve a framework. And right now, when I'm talking all this, this is technology agnostic, which means we are not bringing technology aspect. Irrespective of the technology, you may use certain technology, especially when you draw insights from your customers. What kind of mature level of customer understanding these organizations that you're trying to help have, and what's their vision? For example, Amazon says they want to be most customer centric company. Now, how can they be? By deeply understanding their customer needs and evolving their solution around that, maturing their customer journeys. So there you also have the element of voice of customer. And there are so many technologies available to bring in and work upon the voice of customers, right? So the third element I'm saying is drawing customer insights, and it is also called as the voice of customer. The fourth is ability to measure and improve customer experience. So, for example, net promoter score, customer effort score. There are so many other metrics that organizations have. I've seen many organizations having their own unique metrics. So, what's your expertise on that? I have seen experts, people who are deeply entrenched in metrics measurement. They have that expertise, they have statistical background, they are good at performing the study as to what is the metric that they need to drive in order to improve customer experience, also ensuring that there is return on investment of happening in every penny that is invested in the customer experience space. So as a consultant, you help your client make the right decisions, invest in right technology, and once they have the technology, you may even be able to help them measure it well and deliver better return on investment. In fact, one of the leader I heard called it ROXI, which is return on customer experience investment, ROCXI, right? So you need to ensure as a customer experience consultant. So that's another evolved stream within your CX consulting domain. Then we talk about the customer experience vision. Customer experience vision is having a clear strategy. In fact, one of the interesting things that we do in our customer experience mastery program is we look at the vision statement of customer centric companies and not so customer centric company. We also review your company's vision if you have one, and see how does it fare when it comes to customer centricity, right? So as a consultant, you should be able to actually help your client walk the talk. Many a times, those statements are framed on the wall, but they are not implemented. They are not followed, and they don't reflect in the day-to-day activity. So you bring in that vision and customer experience strategy on the ground, so that the employees of your client are living it, right? And the last element that I want to touch upon as a customer experience consultant is proficiency in design thinking, using the power of empathy to build deeper understanding about the customer. So, for example, if your client is e-commerce company and they hire you as a CX consultant, they hire you as someone who can help them improve the customer journey. So you will first look at how have they got their customer journeys, right from the point somebody lands on their website to the point they become a customer and then become a loyal customer and then become an advocate, right? So this entire journeys, or it's made of set of journeys, you would guide your client to improve the customer experience, would improve their net promoter score, you would improve the journey and help them design from customers point of view, from outside in perspective, by deepening the sensitivity around your customer. And design thinking is a very, very powerful tool and evolving space. I don't think still there is enough awareness about it. Not too many companies are still adopting it, but yes, e-commerce companies do it well. In fact, there are lots of roles, dedicated roles for for this expertise in consulting. When it comes to digital journeys, then there are different kind of nuances that come. You will have multi-channel. You would have client customers moving from one channel to another. These days, an interesting term is used called as physical plus digital, called as phygital, right? So you need to be able to understand this, handshakes between these multiple channels in order to help your customers, your clients, do better in terms of customer journeys. Then, to be successful, so I talked about the five key pillars. First was culture, then governance, then voice of customer, then customer experience vision, and the fifth is design thinking. Now, besides that, you also need to have knowledge about the domain, the industry that you're trying to help, right? So let me see if there are any questions before I go further. If any one of you have any questions, if you're watching this now or later, feel free to post your question, send me your feedback, or you want to know more about how do we help in our customer experience mastery program to build these consulting skills, feel free to post a message or a personal message to me. Yeah, so the framework that I talked about actually gives you an end-to-end understanding, but you can pick even one pillar of these five pillars and can be an expert in one of them. Now, when I said you could be a CX consultant for a certain industry, you could be having expertise in pharma, you could be having expertise in e-commerce, you could be having expertise as a techno functional expert and can work with IT services company as a functional consultant or a digital consultant. These days, lots of companies are embarking on a journey of digital customer experience transformation. This term is used quite a lot these days. So, what does it mean? Digital customer experience transformation again would involve, depending on the industry that you help, they would have their own touch points, they would have their own client interface, they would have their own landscape of technology. So you as an expert would first think, bring in technology independent thinking, someone who would help them improve their customer experience through those digital technologies, right? So, and one of the easiest, fastest route to that could be you could pick up certification. You could pick up pure customer experience certification. One of the program that we run, we actually award customer certified customer experience pioneer. We also help train leaders become certified customer experience professionals, CCXP. You can train on and get this certification. In addition to that, you can actually get a certification in some of those technologies. So, for example, there are companies like Qualtrics is there, like Medallia. There are several companies who have their own certification, but they train you on their product, on their tool. By virtue of doing that, you also get a deeper understanding of the landscape of customer experience technologies, at least beginning with one technology. And depending if you really want to go deep into that technology, another example is salesforce.com, right? So there are several where you interface with the customers and you can be that consultant who know both customer experience. I would say most powerful combination and short recipe to be successful is blending your understanding of the business of customer experience, the functionality of customer experience, and along with a certain technology of customer experience. But that will help you get break into as an IT digital customer experience consultant. Now that's a hot area. That's where a lot of opportunities are coming up. You could be part of any of the IT services, IT consulting companies. And if not, then you could be picking up one domain like pharma, like maybe airlines, like e-commerce, and be a specialist as a consultant in one of these domains, right? So just wanted to keep it brief, just seeing if there's anything else. Yeah, you may think, what's the role of this other technologies where we are talking about AI, data, machine learning. So I won't specifically touch upon of course, these have definite roles depending on the industry. More mature implementations would bring in up into play of these technologies, right? So you would have data analytics coming strong. Recently, one of the leaders joined our program, already deep understanding of data and analytics, could beautifully connect the customer experience domain with analytics. So with data, you are able to get better insights, you're able to design better customer journeys. At every point, you are more mature and you have more capability to design better customer experiences. And today, most of the companies are equipped and they have ways of getting in more data. So that way, you use that data to drive customer centricity. Now, again, it depends on what level of maturity is there. There could be a definite maturity path for certain companies who are still not that much digitized. Many times we have seen that companies buy certain technology with the hope of just quickly changing transformation, but real transformation happens at the level of the people and their adoption of the technology. And seeing that adoption successful is the short way of truly improving the customer experience, truly improving the metrics of net promoter score and customer effort score, right? So I would like to start to wrap this up, but the things that I touched upon, let me again briefly recap. I talked about customer experience as really something which is upcoming in big time because every company wants to improve the customer experience. So, if as a CX consultant, what's your opportunity? Your opportunity is to help your client move from point A to point B, to have a clear understanding of where they are and where they want to be. And how do you bridge that gap as a customer experience consultant? You need to be equipped with certain framework. And I talked about a framework which had 5 elements, which we cover deeply in our customer experience masterclass. Then you need to also be having understanding of the digital environment, what kind of digital technologies are coming in, what's happening in that space, so that you can create a omni-channel experience successfully. Then you should be able to have a deeper understanding of the industry. It could be e-commerce, it could be pharma, it could be airline, that could be another thing. Then you also understand, when I say technology, I just specifically also want to emphasize on data analytics. If you bring in data analytics with CX, that's a powerful combination. As a CX consultant, a lot of opportunities are coming. I'm also seeing some people from data analytics also are now getting involved in the AI and machine learning space. And what kind of opportunities it opens for you as a CX consultant? You can be part of IT consulting, IT services consulting. You can be part of dedicated consultant for certain industries. And today I talked about how can you be successful. So, probably at some point I can also talk about how to get a breakthrough as a CX consultant in your favorite job. So feel free if you have any questions. Again, I want to thank you if you watched this, you've been live, or if you later on watch this. Uh, it'll be great if you leave your comment, and if you have any thoughts to share, what did you like and what more you would have liked to got covered. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed connecting with you on this live. Looking forward to be with you again. Bye bye.